Hi everybody, this is Liz with 143 Handmade, and I am here today to do a mass make. Mass make Mondays. I was doing them very consistently there for a minute, and then, you know, life happened, and I'll do them when I can, kind of thing. So, but today's mass make is just these cute little envelopes, or not envelopes, but these little pockets. That I thought would be a great addition to a junk journal. You could have this filled with things and then just have it be a totally aside, not in the journal at all. You could glue these in and have them be a flip out. You know, you could bind these just into the book itself. Like, there's so many different things you can do with these things, and they're super easy. It's a great way to use up book pages. As you can see, I have sewn these, and I have minimally decorated them, mostly just to cover up any words that I thought would be questionable, you know. So I've made them out of a bunch of different sizes of book page. See, this one's much smaller. This one I'd be more inclined to tuck into a journal, or, you know, paperclip over the edge of a page, something like that, instead of it being a standalone. But these large ones could definitely be turned into a standalone, you know, as an addition to your junk journal. And they can be, you know, super decorated or not. None of these are super decorated, but I did use my stencil on some of them. So I will show you how I do, how I quickly and easily decorate multiples of this type of thing with a stencil. But to get started, if you're gonna craft along with me, all you need is some book page and a little bit of glue for the basic construction. If you want to sew them, obviously you'll need your sewing machine, and if you want to do any kind of inking, decorating, whatever, that's you know, whatever you want to bring along would be great. So these work best as a half, you know, instead of the full 2-page layout, I just used one of the pages, and then you just fold it up. And I like to go about halfway or less, depending on the page. You know, these smaller ones I tend to do, you know, a little bit less. But then you just fold it in, which, honestly, until I saw these on another channel, I had always folded these to the outside to help create that crease and not have it be bunchy in there. But as the single sheet, it seems to work just fine. And I don't know, maybe I'm getting better at folding or something, and they're just, I don't know, it works better now. So, but yeah, you just fold it up, and to create a little pocket on the inside, meet your corners, fold it down. And you can be as messy or as precise with this as you want, as always. I tend to be a little bit on the messier side, the less precise side. But that's all there is to it. And then for the gluing, or to seal them shut, because see, all I did is I went through and I just folded a whole ton of these like this, and then I went to my sewing machine and just ran them all through, you know, piece after piece after piece. And so I think that's what I'm gonna go ahead and do here. Even though I'm going to be using glue instead of the sewing machine. But I will get better at recording at my sewing machine. I'm still trying to figure out angles. What's the best angle? So, and I'm just getting over being sick. Just a little spring cold. Nothing major, but still. I'm gonna go ahead and tear this glue off. It's just a little on the bulky side. There we go. And so, but I wanted to hop on here and do something simple and fun with you guys and hang out for a bit and do a new video now that I'm feeling better. But I don't have to move the camera in between. So, and here, this is just a piece of paper bag that's roughly in the size and shape of I have an ink pad next to me, that's what that was, on my finger there. But anyways, this is just a brown paper bag that's roughly in that rectangular shape of a book page, you know, so I thought I would give that a try, see how well that worked. I think it's cute. Got a fly that's driving me nuts. That's not unusual. Living out here in the country, you know, it's awesome, but I could do without quite so many flies. So, but here we go. And if you're interested, I'm going to be starting another channel. You'll check for the link below, because I'm not sure when you'll be seeing this video, because if it's a new video, it won't be happened yet. But if it's an, you know, if you're watching an older video, then it's probably already happened. I will be having multiple channels, and one of them will be on our homesteading adventures, or as we grow our farm. So if you're interested, but okay, so what I did, back to this, is once I got them all folded, like I said, I took them over to the sewing machine. But since I'm not going to sew, all you would do is just run a small bead of glue right there, right here, and right here on your flap. Just right on the edges of your flappy there. And get rid of my glue strings. There we go. And then just refold. And there you go. I do like to make sure I get it folded while it's still wet, so that way that center portion, it really has a chance to get the glue where it really needs to be, where it's going to be in the folded position. So let's do that again. A little line of glue right there in the center, right here on the edge, and right here on the other edge, just like any other set of pockets. So super, super easy. Anybody can do this. This is just a little bit of paper. I really like the idea of using it book page, and I really liked going through and finding all the more blank pages. Or I really also like using these index pages, you know, because there's a lot of text on them, so visually they're interesting, but you really don't have to worry about like what the text says or anything. If you're going to be selling your journal, you don't have to worry about, you know, what's on an index page, you know, for the most part. It's one of the safer pages if you don't know that book's content very well, you know, because sometimes I buy really cheap books just because I can get them, a bulk of them for really inexpensive, but I don't necessarily, you know, I don't have time to read every single book that I want to, let alone, you know, just these books that I've gotten hold of because they had a nice cover and they were inexpensive for crafting purposes. So I don't always know the text of the books that I'm working with. And, you know, when you're just working with a book for yourself, that doesn't matter, you know. But if you're going to be at all selling them or even gifting them, you want to be aware of what's on the page, the text that's there, you know, because some people can get quite offended quite easily, and you just want to be careful. And then other people, it really wouldn't matter what you gave them, and so you just have to know. You have to know your friends in that situation, you know, or your clientele. And another way to deal with that as far as clientele goes is, if you are selling your books, make sure to put some sort of disclaimer in your listing somewhere saying that you know, you don't know which book this came from, and you do not guarantee that it is, you know, not offensive or safe for children, or however you want to word that. But that's my 2 cents worth on that. And we've got one more to glue here, and as you can see, they go really, really quickly. You know, it's really, really easy. And here, just let me get these glue strings. That one got very stringy on me. Okay, there we go. Closed up. Okay, now I'll show you how I decorate them. So a quick way to decorate them is you can be as careful or as messy with this as you like, as always with pretty much everything I do. But I just like to create an area that's bigger than the stencil I want to use. And I have some fairly large stencils, and I also have some, you know, these kind of smaller stencils. And I am working on a mat that it doesn't matter if the ink gets on there, so I don't have to worry about that. But, excuse me, what I will do is I will start with the stencil mostly on one. It doesn't really matter which one. And then, okay, this is brown paper stack, so it's going to really soak up that ink. Should have grabbed just the regular book page for the demo. Okay, there we go. I think I finally got it. Okay. See, so there we go. We got one covered, you know, but then what I do is, without really moving a whole lot, as I will go ahead and reposition the stencil, and I don't care if it's overlapping that one. And a lot of times if it is overlapping, I will choose not to re-ink right then. That way the next layer is lighter. Or I will switch to a different color or something of that nature. So that way they're still, they don't just blend together. You can still clearly see where this darker one is versus the lighter one. And, you know, I'll just continue to do that until I'm happy with how they are decorated. And as you can see, by having them all, you know, laid out like that, you can quickly and easily just jump from one to the other. You don't have to, you know, be super fussy with it. If you're using something that needs to be right side up, obviously you need to be a little more careful, but that's why I really like using these like Celtic knot style stencils, because there is no right side up, you know. So there we go. Thank you so much for joining me. And, you know, these can get as fancy or as simple as you want. This one had some questionable text here, so I just added a cutoff piece. Here, the other direction. And then here's the other portion of that questionable text. And so I just put the sticker here and just pulled it around to the front. And then what I plan on doing is adding another bit of greenery. You know, another green sticker or, you know, something of that nature to bring that green on up on the cover. But I wanted to wait until I knew for sure which journal it was going to go with to add the final decorations. But yeah, see, you can take out those end pages that have barely any text on them, like at the end of chapters and stuff. And, you know, just throw a sticker on top of it and poof, that dialogue, you know, or not dialogue, that all that text. I mean, you could pick it out if you really wanted to, but you can just ignore it. So it makes it become very generic. This was a matte page that was in the very front of a book, and it's kind of that heavier weight paper. I have no idea what weight it is, but it's heavier weight. So thank you so much for joining me. Here's from a vintage book page. So really just have fun with this, and don't forget to check out my links below if you want to support my channel. There's lots of options for you. Thank you so much.